All right. Hi, everybody. David Fogel back with you, CEO of the Symphonina Foundation, back with another Symphonina Foundation podcast. I'm joined today by violinist and composer Helena Maria Falk. Helena, how are you?
I'm great, David. Thank you so much for having me.
Totally my pleasure. And I must start by saying thank you. You've been very helpful, actually, to us early on in the Symphonina Foundation. You helped find us Elizabeth Boardman, great viola player, who played with our International Symphonina Orchestra. I greatly appreciate your help in facilitating that. You've got a new album out, Nordic Lullabies, and I want to talk about that. Where do we find you today?
So today I'm actually in Norway. I just got back from Vienna, where I've been played like 3 concerts there with the Nordic Lullabies. So it's pretty exciting.
That's great. I'll let you in on a little fun fact. We may have many fun facts today. I don't know, but my mom was born in Australia, but her parents were from Finland, so I have many Finnish relatives, which is not the same as Norwegian relatives. I understand that, but I've been to Finland many times, but I've only been to Norway one time, which was for a conference that we did in Trondheim, which is pretty far up. It's not at the Arctic Circle quite, but it's pretty far up there, and it was beautiful. I remember everything went great. I remember the Burger King Whopper combo costs more than a salmon dinner. So it's the little things that you remember along the way. But, Norway is great. And we wish you great travels. And how are your concerts going?
Oh, they're going so great. It's a special feeling when you have recorded your album and you can finally perform it. And I'm just super happy and grateful for the experience.
Yeah, so you performed in Vienna from your album, and which orchestras are you using as you go on your tour? I know on your album you had the Norwegian Radio Orchestra, which is of course appropriate for Nordic Lullabies, but as you tour, you don't get to travel with the Norwegian Radio Orchestra, I'm presuming. So, how do you figure out which orchestra you're going to perform with?
So on most cities, I have arranged the music for string ensembles, sometimes like piano quartets. So it's actually not orchestras all the way, only in Vienna. But yeah, hopefully one day, right?
Yeah, no, well, anytime you can play with a chamber orchestra or a quartet or anything, it's all great. Tell me about the inspiration for your album. We've been following your music quite a number of years here, but I think this album is very special to you, and I want to make sure you have the opportunity to share all the reasons why.
Yeah, thank you for asking. My album Nordic Lullabies is definitely my most personal yet. It's written in memory of my dear brother who passed away. It takes you on a journey, I would say. The first piece, Berceuse, I actually wrote when I was 7 years old, and it was a lullaby I wrote to sing and play for my brothers back then. The album takes you on a journey from deep grief to hope at the end. And the last piece is actually called Hope, which means hope in Norwegian. Mm-hmm. And you can hear, the first glimmer of hope after a long period of grief in the music.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for your loss, Helena. How was your brother older than you or younger than you?
Younger than me.
Younger than you.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah. So sorry. Well, as you're going through the development of all the pieces and thinking about how you compose everything, is there some overarching idea in your mind of all of these lullabies, or how do they differ?
That's a good question. I usually write lullabies for people I love. So the starting point is very simple. It's always melodic. It's easy to follow. And more complex in other cases, like the piece Fragments is super complex in that way and not really a lullaby. So I'm playing with the form and creating my own form in a sense.
Interesting.
But you can always find the melody and the themes in there, Mm-hmm. So my intention is to capture the feeling of the person and the feeling I was experiencing, the grief, the pain, or the hope and the light.
And the love, I think, too.
And the love, of course.
Yes, right. Yes. When you said you were playing violin at 7, what age did you get started?
Yeah, I started at 7 after I went to a concert, actually, when I was 6 years old, listening to Vivaldi's Four Seasons. And it looked so much fun as a kid, to see the orchestra players and especially the violinists. So I told my parents, that's what I want to do. And it was no way back. And since then, the violin has been like a home for me. It's been so special.
Okay, so some people know that I I tried violin for 4 months just to understand what the violin was all about. And you can see, people at home can't see because we don't show video on this podcast, but you can see I've got some guitars over here. So I'm a guitar player, but you pick up a violin, you go, oh my God, where are the frets, right? Because it's like, aha, well, how do we even stay in tune at all? So I'm thinking, how could you even compose? Like, you must be brilliant to pick up the violin at 7 and start composing things on the violin, and it shows now in how proficient you are. And I didn't have that luck when I picked up the violin. I was like, okay, that's enough. When you're I'm sure you must be asked for advice for other people who are either just getting started or they're far along in their violin journey. Well, what are the kind of things that you encourage them to think about, either as a beginner or as a more advanced player?
I think I would encourage them to have fun, especially if you start as a kid. Enjoy and play and find other people to play with, like chamber music. It is for me the most magical part about playing. And as a kid, start in orchestras, find others to play with, and have fun with it, because music is supposed to be fun. Especially in classical music, it can sometimes get a little too serious, right?
I felt that too. I felt that on the piano when I started that at 5. It does get serious, actually. And as a kid, you do want to have
Yes.
fun with things too. But the older we get, the more we want to have fun. At least I do. So I think that's probably good advice for everybody at every age. So you knew that you were going to be a violinist right away. What was your choice about where to go for your musical education, let's say in college? I know you went to the Norwegian Academy of Music. Was that just a natural thing growing up in Norway? That's where you were going to go, or were there other choices?
For me, that was the best choice, like the best school to go to at the point. And it depends on the teacher who you want to study with.
Mm,
Of course, finding the right professor for you is very, very important.
yeah.
So that was the right choice at the time. And then I went on to Stockholm, which that was, a wonderful place to study. And I had my best years definitely there, where I could study chamber music and more of the soloist part of my career, to
Yeah.
develop that part, which is very important. More
Was it?
freedom.
Would you say there's a cultural difference at all between music? Well, not necessarily generally, but the music you experience in Norway to Sweden to Finland, let's say, to Denmark to Iceland, any of the Scandinavian countries, that they all have their own flavor kind of thing, and you have to go find it, or is it not really the case? It's more the case of depends on which teacher you're getting with.
Yes, I would say we are pretty similar. So it depends what you want to do. But I would always encourage people to travel, not necessarily choose a college in your hometown. Like, travel, go to the other side of the world,
Yeah,
explore other cultures, or do like an exchange, something like that. Because Scandinavia is very, very similar in general, I would say.
yeah. Well, you came to America. And how much time do you spend in Los Angeles?
This year it feels like I'm traveling all over the place,
Yeah,
but usually I spend a lot of time in LA for sure.
yeah.
Um, for the rest of this year, it's going to be a lot in LA and New York as well.
Yeah, and I presume that has a lot to do with the Grammy season coming up and everything else. You're going to be submitting Nordic Lullabies for consideration, I know, and we wish you the best of success with that. You've done a lot of things also with video games. I know. I don't know about film so much, but video games too. What do you like to do when you're talking about doing productions with other people? Is it the video game thing, or do you like to maybe work on other performances where you might tour with people? What works for you?
I think collaboration is always a great thing in a space you can learn the most. So I used to do a lot of film and TV and video games, and both writing but also like playing violin solos for Hollywood movies, etc.
Hmm.
So that's a lot of fun as well. But right now I'm mostly focusing on my own artist project, I would say. But we do have some fun project I've been part of, as you know, in the past.
Yeah. So there is a fun fact that no one would ever guess, but I saw it on your bio, so it has to be true. Once upon a time, you were performing with Eminem on the revival tour. How did that happen?
That was a few days after I was done with my master exam, and
Uh-huh.
I got a DM from um, someone asking me to be part of the tour, which was pretty exciting at the time in
Absolutely.
2018. Yeah.
Well, there's different ways to spread the joy of symphonic music, which is what we're all about here. And that is one of them. Absolutely. So you don't have to be just doing classical music to spread the joy of symphonic music. Symphonic music can be a benefit to just about every genre, really.
I agree. We can learn so much from other genres, right? And especially making it more fun and easy and more accessible and free. So I really enjoy that as well when I get the chance to play all genres, really.
Yeah, and exciting to watch too. You
That's
and other violinists I have seen who are really, really good are exciting to watch.
true.
So there's that. You also had some performances at Carnegie Hall. I don't know if you have any more Carnegie Hall coming performances coming up. Do you?
Not that I know of, but
Okay.
hopefully more in the future. But yeah, I did perform my own music there in December. That was amazing, and had the performance the year before as well.
And how do you find your way to Carnegie Hall besides practice, practice, practice? What are the doors that have to open for you or that you have to open in order to make that a reality?
I think for me, the first thing is setting an intention. What do I want? And then talk to people about it. And sometimes you just walk through a door and someone helps you in your network. So I find the key to all my goals is through networking mostly, and not being too afraid to dream big and practice, practice, practice. Of
Yes.
course. But I think a combination of all of that, and always, I try to always be at my highest level all the time, to make sure I'm ready to catch the opportunity when it finds me.
It's tough to be at your highest level all the time, though, right? I mean, you it's not natural to be at your highest level all the time. There's lulls and there's times when you're performing above that supposed level that you can perform at too. I'm sure whatever it is for you. So how do
Yeah.
you try to maintain, I guess, that consistency and always be at the top of your game, as you say?
I practice a lot every day, consistently, and it's almost never a day off.
Hmm.
But I take 1 week a year where I take like completely a week off. But
Hmm.
I also visualize a lot. So if I have a big performance, I visualize it going well and all the steps. And I find that very, very helpful. So the mental practice part is definitely crucial for me.
Interesting. Okay, so you have both the actual practice and the visualization of it. So
Yeah.
it's a mental thing, like you just said, but it's also connecting your mind, obviously, to your fingers and the rest of your body because it's a fully expressive performance, not just your fingers on the on. Can we call it a fretboard? What is the name for a violin that would be a fretboard for a guitar? What do we call it?
I think in English, is it fingerboard?
Fingerboard.
I
Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes it.
Call it
It can't be a fretboard. So
no.
I've learned another fact today. That's great. You toured with Eminem, and it's a fingerboard. See, this is this is good. So I wonder when you are struggling with something because we all struggle even at your level with whatever it is that you want to achieve. What is your way of stepping back from that and trying to get through that so that you have the confidence that you want with it?
That's a really great question. I think for me, sometimes I have to step back if my body is too tired or if I get burnt out. And I've been really good at doing that. So I spend a lot of time in nature,
Hmm.
um, and meditating. And I'm also working out a lot. So I feel
Nice.
a combination that we have to take care of our mind and body to make sure we can be at the top all the time, or even on stage and have something to give. So I feel I've been good at that, to take a step back, and also to have boundaries, you
Okay.
know
All right.
with I think that's important.
Yeah. Do you ever find when you take that break, you come back and that thing that was really hard, you just like zip through it and you go, what just happened?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it depends, of course, what it is, what's happening. Last year, I got serious concussion, for example, and I had to step back for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I think when you saw me on stage in LA, that was my first concert in a very long
Oh,
time.
wow. Okay.
So that's a good example where I had to take a break from my instrument, and I was told that I couldn't do performances for a year.
Wow.
But yeah, I made it shorter. I made it like 3 months, but
Okay.
I had to bounce back, and I needed to rest a lot and spend time in nature to be able to do that.
I think that leads me to another question. Then, when you get news like that, something happens in your life, maybe people get into an auto accident or some other thing happens that's, beyond our control, and you're informed that you need to take a break from the thing that you love to do the most. What kind of mental approach do you have to that situation or maybe advice for others to try to help either shorten that time or enjoy that time a bit more than you might otherwise, rather than focusing on not being able to do the thing you love?
I think the best advice is to keep like a positive mindset um, as much as you can, and try to be healthy. And because if we start to stress about the situation, it actually gets worse.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
to be able to stay in the moment and accept what happened and accept the news, whatever it is. Sometimes, we get injured as musicians and
Hmm.
we need to be careful. So I think my advice is to, rest and enjoy the time and do some other things, read, spend time in nature with friends and family, and because life is so much else than music as well, and it's a good thing to remember.
I think you remind me of something in the stages of grief. You're saying to get to acceptance faster, which is great advice. Actually, I really do appreciate that. I want to ask you another thing. Is you're touring a lot. What is it like living while you're touring a lot instead of living like I get to go home every day? I guess you try to make a home where you are for however long you're there, but it's not the same, is it?
It's not the same, but for me, as long as I'm with my violin, it feels like home, and I love to explore different cities and places, sometimes more than if I'm home too long. So I guess for me it works because I'm so used to it, but it can be overwhelming as well. So taking breaks in between is really, really important. So when I'm like between tours or concerts, I am not in a city. I'm I'm definitely in nature or surrounded by people I love.
Yeah, that's great. So do you try to build in that to your schedule so that you have a little bit of time and you're not racing off to the next thing to go to the next thing to the next thing and not have that time?
Absolutely, and especially after the concussion, because I still have to rest a lot in between. So
Hmm.
I I make that into my schedule between all the concerts.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you have a busy year ahead of you, Helena. Very busy.
Yeah, we
And
both do, right?
we both do. That's true. But it's all to everyone's benefit that you do. And what I'd really love to see are some videos of your live performances as you have the opportunity to have them taken and share. Hopefully, are those coming? I hope they're coming.
Yeah, they're coming soon.
Okay, good. All right, we're going to be looking forward to that. Helena, we greatly appreciate you sharing your time with us. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
They can go to my website, helenamariafalk.com, or reach me at any social media, especially Instagram. Send me a DM, and you can find Nordic Lullabies at all the streaming platforms, of
Yep.
course.
Yep. All right. Nordic Lullabies, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you find your streaming music. And Helena, if there's anything we can do at the Symphonina Foundation to be of help to you, just let us know. We're going to listen to some more of your great playing and composing on the way out here.
Thank you so much, David, for having me.